Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. Let's start off with an update on that Shazam trailer, which was reported earlier from Scoopers that was supposed to drop this weekend. Apparently, that's not going to happen now. According to Zachary Levi, Shazam himself, he says, "Hey, yo, the new poster for Shazam movie is here." Oh, this way. And there's a new trailer coming in the new year. Shazam, hashtag Shazam movie in theaters April 5th. Mark them calendars, y'all. And some emojis. So, that's the new poster. Very fitting for this Shazam film. It's pretty awesome. I'm glad that David F. Sandberg's having fun with it. He put Shazam here with among the Trinity, chewing bubblegum. That's awesome. Then ending with Steppenwolf popping up. But so the Shazam trailer is not going to come out this weekend. It's not even going to come out this year. It's going to come out next year for whatever reason. So maybe that one DC surprise that Mario Robles had talked about could be the Joker. We'll see. We'll have to see what happens then. But that's Shazam. Sorry, we're not going to see another Shazam trailer until next year. But enjoy the poster for now. Next up is, of course, the biggest DCEU movie, the only DCEU movie coming out this year, and that is Aquaman. And Aquaman is coming out in the U.S. December 21st. Amazon Prime members, including myself, get to see it on December 15th, but China got to see it already. They've got to see it. So here is the box office for China. Here we go. It's really big, actually. It's pretty big. So China box office reported by Gavin Feng at Gavin Feng 97. Aquaman makes 1.19 million from Midnight's, the second best midnight ever for DC movies. It has already topped Wonder Woman, Justice League, Thor Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in advance ticket sales. 60 million plus on opening weekend is going to happen. That's not all. With some adding numbers from a few theaters, Aquaman beat Batman v Superman and created the new midnight record for DC movies with 1.3 million. Update. Aquaman earns 8.4 out of 10 on Dubon and 9.6 out of 10 on Maoyan. 9.610 is the best audience score for HLW titles ever. Hollywood titles ever. Only Coco and Furious 7 did that high before. And Furious 7 made a buttload of money in China. If you still can't understand what level it is, just imagine 8.410 on IMDb and A+ on Cinema Score. So China is loving Aquaman right now. It's gonna be hit big. It's gonna be huge. So happy for it. That's awesome. China is a real big box office draw. It really could have helped Suicide Squad. If Suicide Squad had released in China, that could have took it over the edge. But no. And it made that money. But anyway, Aquaman is seemingly gonna be really, really big, and I can't wait to see the numbers for this global box office worldwide. And I thought it was really smart for them to release it in different phases, in early advance and stuff like that. So that's awesome. That's great. And our own Snyder fan, someone we know very well, the head of the Snyder fan movement, pretty much, Fiona Zhang, had actually saw Aquaman because she's in China. So she says she freaking loves Aquaman. This is a true DCEU film. Creepy Puppet, which is, James Wan, did an amazing job. She's going to give a spoiler-free review later, so let's check that out. What else did she say? She did some. It's in a film all DCU fans will enjoy. The cast did a marvelous job, especially the snake stink almost free, and we know who she's talking about. She's referring to the people who dismantled Justice League, and it seems like, and what she's referring is that seems like with all those execs turn around and Walter Hamada and things like that, Jeff Johns gone and stuff like that, James Wan was able to create the movie that he wanted to make. And so that's the big deal. This is where we're creator director driven films, not studio made films. So I think this is great. I think this is a step in the right direction, not the direction of Justice League that they were trying to say. Remember those reviews? This is the step in the right direction. No, it wasn't. This may be the step in the right direction. And it's great to hear from, even though she says she's a Snyder fan, but she's been just people who enjoy high quality movies. She's a DC fan, but knowing that she's also a Snyder fan actually could help a lot of those people out there who don't want to watch this film or trying to boycott it. I think this is maybe a good thing that she says in such positive light that this is very much a DCEU film. There's a lot of homage to Man of Steel, but this is Aquaman. It really is an Aquaman film, not a Man of Steel film, but it's great to see the homage there. Great to see the interesting how she says it pretty much makes Snyder Cut canon in ways, and she says it is, and it sounds really great for people who love Zack Snyder's films, who want DCU films, who love comic book films, who love DC films, DC comics, everything like that. So I think it's going to be a great time in the theater at most, and in a very I don't know, I guess very satisfying and thing to add to the DCU library. Like, you may have stopped before Justice League, but I think it sounds like this one is one you can put on the shelf. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm very excited for this, and I hope you all are excited for this as well. I am going to watch it. It's 11, wait, no, not even 11, 9 days away. 9 days away, and I can't wait to see how I feel about the movie. I can't wait to experience this movie as well, and I hope you guys do too. But speaking about Aquaman, right? I guess in order to celebrate China's release, I don't know if it is, but we've been talking about Aquaman starting point where Jason Momoa says he's coming off from the Snyder Cut where he meets Volko and Mera and goes in the truck. He's all drunk and stuff. And then someone on YouTube, someone told me that someone had watched it and doesn't start off with a truck. It actually starts with the submarine like I thought. So it still could connect in a way to the Whedon version because he goes into the water. But like Fiona said, the way she said it is like it meaning the Snyder Cut is still canon, so we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But the interesting part is that Zack Snyder had posted on Vero today. Was it today? Yeah, today. And it's a picture. It's probably a faraway still of Aquaman meeting or walking away from Volko and Mera, and with the quote saying, "I'm going home to see my dad." So obviously he knows what's going on in social media and how we're perceiving, and he knows what Jason Momoa had said. I mean, it's all over the place. He's on Vero. We posted to Vero. He's probably seen it. So in a way, he's responding to that. But I'm also thinking it's in a way because Aquaman came out in China, maybe, perhaps. And you look at that, and it's great. I'm so happy to see these things. At the same time, like, they cut that out. Oh my God. You have that feeling that sides of you who are just like, you're being torn apart, because I'm like, why there's so much work, all that time and effort and energy going to Iceland and shooting all that in order to just be on a chopping block. What a waste. And also, if you look really closely, people notice that Volko's costume, you can see what Volko looks like. And it's very much almost like that little toy that came out with the shawl and stuff. His hair is a little bit down and things like that. So, and you also notice that it does not look like anything you see of Volko in the James Wan version, where hair is tied back and things like that. So, could that be why they cut that out, or Zack Snyder decided not to use that, or say, we in a way just, hey James, I know you're gonna do it this way, so we'll just go with that way. We won't show Volko. Is that how it is, or is that was really in there? And we'll see Volko in that type of costume. Of course, Mara looks different from Mara in the James Wan version. You can totally see it's the color difference and things like that, and the costume as well. So that is interesting how that will come across later, if at all. Are we going to have that explained, or is it just going to be, this is how it is now, this is my interpretation of Mara and Volko, and with very little things that connect to the Snyder Cut? In which case, then that means Snyder Cut is not canon-ish. I mean, in a way. But it shows that Zack's allowing James Wan to have that creative freedom, and which that is okay, I think. But in a way, I still wish we'd have seen that little part in Justice League. It makes you know that the next movie's Aquaman. In a way, it just connects it in a way. And it's unfortunately, we won't see that. Hopefully, we'll get to see it one day. But at the same token, Zack Snyder's been releasing all these other storyboards as well. This one is about the one we talked about the other day, where Lois has a cup of coffee, gives it to the police officer, played by Mark McClure, and she goes and sees her dearly beloved, the Memorial Heroes Park, Superman. And it's looks like a really nice, touching moment. And if you go to DC Films Hub, their YouTube channel, I'll link it here. He actually put a lot of storyboard parts together with actual scenes that he took from either the trailers or the movie itself, the theatrical cut, so you can kind of have a little bit context of how these storyboards are. Interesting enough, just a little added side, that someone asked him, he posted a picture of that. Remember that Dark Side picture, that storyboard? Zack Snyder admitted that he did draw that, and he's also said that he shoots what he draws. That means all that was shot. All the storyboard was shot. There is footage for all this stuff. Whether it's put together or not, that's another question altogether. But I think it's better that it's all shot, because with it all shot, there's something to work with. There's nothing to shoot more, and maybe that's in a way better off to working with. It's different from, like, say, the Donner cut, where the Donner didn't have things, or he didn't finish it, and so he didn't have everything. So you would have to find, or he did editing and things like that. It took a long time, and it was on film and stuff like that. I mean, this is on film too, but it's been put digitally. So I think with this case, it's going to be a lot more simpler putting together a cut, a special cut, rather than a Donner cut, because of all the footage is done. Now, the digital part, that's something else, but at least you don't need to hire actors and actresses on Superman, Henry Cavill back, Ben Affleck back, and do some scenes. It's already there. The footage is already there. I don't know how far along that film was, but it's going to be a lot easier to release that than the other than it was to release the Donner cut. So there is that to be wondering about. Now, I don't really want to get into tinfoil too much. I want to maybe wait a little bit, a couple days to see what I learn. But I'm hoping there's some good news coming, at least more tinfoil hat for you. There are a lot of things going in my mind right now, especially things that Dave Pena, I spelled his last name this whole time, missaid his last name. It's Pena, as he said in his podcast. But I may touch upon that later on, maybe tomorrow or the day or Saturday or something. But until then, this is great. Aquaman looks like to be a hit. Looks like it'll make Snyder fans happy, DCEU fans happy, DC comic book fan happy, and the general mainstream audience is happy. And I think that's a hey, I think that's a win-win for all of us. But I hope it makes you happy, and I hope it makes me happy. So I can't wait to see this coming out December 15th for me, and December 21st for America, and everybody else probably a lot earlier. Maybe you're gonna see it this weekend. Who knows? All right, guys. Well, that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.